Hi, welcome to Talk Back Live, a show that gets you involved in live conversation and sports with Brian Camp on Sports Update, bringing you the latest developments in today's world of sports. And now here's your host, Frank Allan.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and a pleasant night to each and every one of you in your different time zones around the world and across the country. We want to invite you once again for coming in. And right now it's Thursday. It's 8 p.m. on the East Coast, 5 p.m. on the West Coast. It's Friday morning at 1 a.m. in London, 3 a.m. in Israel, and it's 10 a.m. in Tokyo, Japan. And again, we want to invite you for coming in because the name of the show is called Talk Back Live. This is a show where we get together each week and we get together and create conversation, make you part of the action as well. And we talk about all kinds of issues, things that may matter to you and things that matter to everyone around the world. And we cover everything. All you have to do is cooperate and just do what you have to do to get involved into it. And we would love you to do that. Now, how you get involved in is that we pull you in by making sure that you know that each week the conversation goes on, and with the conversation, of course, people like you, yourself, and other people who are joining in can join in the conversation too. Now, how we get you involved? All you have to do is on your keyboard, on your computer, on your cell phone, and even on your tablet or any other device that you may have to communicate. You could watch and communicate at the same time. Let your fingers do the walking. On the keyboards, type whatever you want to say. I'll see you right there on the big screen. Of course, we'll entertain all of your thoughts and ideas because that's what the show is all about. Free exchange of ideas and of opinions. And I think that you have a lot of those and we'd like to hear from you. So all hour long, we're going to be here doing that. And of course, we invite you to tell your friends about it. Now, those of you who've been around with us a long time, of course, you already know the protocol, so I'm going to take a little time for the people who possibly may be very new to this program and here for the very first time. As the host of the show, that's me. I am going to get things started as I'm doing now. This is how I set the tone of the show. While I'm setting the tone, if you have anything particular to say, you could say it right now. At this moment, you don't have to wait. There's no specific time that you have to do it. You can do it right now. Just say whatever you have to say by stroking your fingers on those keyboards and letting us know, and we'll bring it out there. Okay, that's all you have to do. It's so simple as that. That's how we talk. And if there's anything in particular that you want to talk about, even though I may bring out a subject or two, that doesn't mean we have to linger on the subject the whole time. If there's something that you want to talk about, and it may be of interest to all of us who are watching, of course, feel free. Talk about it. I'll acknowledge it, and we'll talk about it. And we talk about everything from sports, politics, and all of those kind of things. Now, those of you, again, if you're new to the program, right, and if you're new, then you ought to know that come on 3 different platforms. We're live on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. And for those of you who are watching us for the very first time on Facebook, you could take the time, and even you guys know, we've been around for a long time. You can tag this show to your friends right now. It's very simple. You know how to do that, right? Just tag the show and send it to them. As many as you want, because the more the merrier. If they like what they see, if they like what they hear, of course, they'll come back again and again. But we do urge you. Now, if you can't get like all of your friends on there, because some of you guys are loaded with friends, thousands and thousands of them. I don't say that you should like tag them all. Tag as many as you like, though, and bring them in. And once they see that tag, they'll know it's coming from you. They'll click onto that tag and it brings them directly to us. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. So do that. Now, for those who are watching us on YouTubers, right? We always encourage you to click onto our YouTube channel. Go there. If you're there right now, of course, take the time to click on and subscribe to us. See what it says down there. It says subscribe, right? It's bordered in black. And all you have to do is just click on to that. And it takes no effort. It takes no money, nothing like that. It's just a matter of being part of us. It's free. Everything is just dirt free. All right. And once you do that, it'll give you a chance and an opportunity to know that any time from here on in, now that you clicked on, when we come on live or any other activity going on the website, you'll get instant notification. All right, let's say, for instance, next week you come in and you forgot all about the show, but you happen to be online, right? When the show comes on the air, it gives you that instant notification, and then you say they're on the air, right? Now, when we're not on the air, and if you get notification, there's something going on. Like maybe we're posting a video or maybe a still photo or something like that, just for the website, right? But nevertheless, every time there's an activity going on and you're there, you happen to be online right there, you'll get that instant notification. All you have to do is just click right onto it, and that's exactly how it goes, all right? Tell your family and friends to do the same thing. If you're watching us, some people just like to watch us on Facebook, some YouTube. And those of you who are watching us on Instagram, you don't have to do anything special. Just make sure that you pass the word along to your family and friends and let them know that we're out here and we're out there for them as well as for you. And when you come in, you can not only talk to me, but you can talk to others who are here. And you can strike up a conversation there. Because sometimes when we strike up a conversation, the conversation spreads on from me to you, and other people who are in the room. And it's like being at a sports bar or something. You know, you're tagging along and you're just dredging up that conversation. So that's what we do here. So keep telling your friends about it. Let them know about it. And some of you may be on the other side of the world. Like I said, you know, we're in different time zones, right? Some are celebrating morning right now, some afternoon, some evening, whatever it is. Spend the next hour with us and just pass the word along, okay? We really appreciate that, more than you know. Now, we have our own little thing that we do here as well, okay? We talk to you, but we still have our little program that we do as well, and we do it faithfully too. Now, later on in the program, as a matter of fact, within this half hour of this hour, we're going to call on Brian Camp coming out of Charlotte, North Carolina. He's going to come in and he's going to bring us the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. And there's a lot to talk about in sports. There's a lot of things happening. Of course, you already know that football is over. Baseball is on the way, and we're still at the last leg of the NBA. Those playoffs are coming along, and everything is happening too. But we're going to hold off on that, and when Brian comes in, he'll let us know exactly what's going on, right? And if you have any sports-related programs when he comes in, any sports-related questions, something like that, you want to talk to him about sports, you can do it live, all right? If you have the questions, get them ready because he'll be able to answer them for you, all right? Now, and you'll get a chance to see him too. He'll be right out on the screen. You'll see him on Facebook. You'll see him on YouTube. Now, you guys who are watching us on Instagram, you won't get a chance to see him. We're not set up that way. So you'll get a chance to hear him. You'll hear everything he's going to say, just like you're hearing me now. He'll hear everything. You'll hear everything. And you can still ask the questions that you want to ask, and we pass it along to him. So all of that is coming up too. Also, later on in the program, we have this little niche that we called This Day in History. Now, here we are. It's February 27th, and tomorrow is the last day of the month. And February 27th, something happened on that day in history. And we've got a list of them. We're going to talk to you about that later on. That's coming up later on. And before the show is over, too, also, we've got movies. Now, I bring you those movies now. The weekend is coming up, all right? And, of course, as I always say each week, that's your time to shine. That's your time to relax and shut the door on people who you don't want to be bothered with or come to your house or anything like that. You want the whole weekend to yourself. And one of the things you might want to do is catch up on some movies. And if that's the case, then, of course, we have some movies to pass along to you anyway that you may like, and some of my recommendations. My picks of the week for the week and for your weekend. And that's all coming up later on in the program. Remember, all of the views and the opinions expressed on this show, Talkback Live, does not necessarily reflect the view or the opinion of the people of Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Zoom, or any other social media outlet or broadcast facility. There you go. And like I said, tomorrow is the last day of February. Time goes fly. And the reason why the month went by so fast, there's just fewer days in February. We only have 28 days. Tomorrow is the last day, and then we'll drift over to March. And March goes on to March Madness and all of those other things coming along. So we've got a lot of things to talk about. And of course, Brian will talk about March Madness. If he has any information about that, he'll talk about that on his sports show coming up on Sports Update. So, and this is the last, tomorrow is the last day, and we're still here. Even though the month is not quite over yet, we're still here, and it's still Black History Month. That's what we're celebrating. It's Black History Month, and a lot of you have been celebrating it all month long. So have I. And, you know, you've probably been to the public library or maybe Googling on some of the people that you never knew that made a big difference in this country. Black Americans who made a big difference in this country. And of course, all month long we celebrate. Now, let me just remind you of something. Because we have Black History Month, which is on February, that doesn't mean you can't celebrate it anytime you want. You celebrate it anytime you want, you know, because people still look for information on their Black achievers and find out more. And you can do that. And it's very easy to do that, right? Now, all month long, we've been featuring each week, featuring a Black pioneer for African American month, okay? A Black pioneer. And for the first couple of weeks of this month, we shined a light on two males. And last week we shined on a female. So we give the females equal opportunity. The men had 2 weeks. Now the women have 2 weeks. And this is the second week. And this week, there's so many, but you can't get them all done. This week, we're going to shine a light and focus on a pioneer by the name of Sadie Alexander. Let me tell you about her. She may not be a household name, but if you heard her for the first time now, and you say, who is she? What has she done? Well, here I am to tell you all about it. Sadie Alexander was the first Black woman economist in the United States. Now, this trailblazing math whiz devoted her career to challenging segregation and taking on institutions that kept Black people from advancing financially. And that work included serving as the first woman secretary of the National Bar Association, fighting for desegregating and desegregate the military, and serving on President Harry Truman's special committee on civil rights. And there you go. And you can learn more about Sadie Alexander. Now, I'm just giving you a taste of her. You never heard of her? Well, now you have, and now you can find out more about her. Just, you know, go to the library, Google it, and check her out. Her name is Sadie Alexander, and she's our featured pioneer for this week on Black History Month. So there you have it. Also this month, and we'll repeat all of this tomorrow too, being that tomorrow is the last of it all. But it's National Cancer Prevention Month. Now, this is not a celebration. This is just an acknowledgement and making awareness of cancer. And it's something that is near and dear to me, you know, because I have experience and I am a cancer survivor. And I say that many, many times. And I say it not shamelessly, not ashamed about it, because it just happened to happen. And for those of you who have never been diagnosed, well, that's why we have this for you. It's Prevention Month, and you can read all about it. You can Google it, find out what it entails. National Cancer Prevention Month. Find out what it entails, you know, and look it over. We want you to stay healthy and strong and make sure everything is good with you, right? So we have that to talk about. We talk about that today, and we'll talk about it tomorrow. It's National Cancer Prevention Month. You can't make this up. Today, if you didn't notice, if you didn't walk around and you seen anybody eating strawberries, well, maybe they're catching the fever, because it's National Strawberry Day. All around the nation is National Strawberry Day. And If you haven't had your dose of strawberries, this is the day to do it. Not that you can't do it every day or whenever you feel like it, but it's a natural fruit. It's a good fruit, but that's what it is today, National Strawberry Day. Okay. Okay. Jerry Butler, the original lead singer of the R&B and soul group, The Impressions, has died. The Mississippi-born musician uh, started singing as a teenager in a Chicago church alongside his future bandmate Curtis Mayfield. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which inducted the Impressions back in 1991, described their music as as a sound of the civil rights movement. And later in life, Butler went on to become a local politician and served as a commission for Cook County, Illinois, from 1985 to 2018, and he was 85 years old. Lynn Marie Stewart, who starred on screen productions like Pee Wee Playhouse and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, died last week after a quick illness. Stewart was born on December 14th, 1946 in Los Angeles, California. Stewart starred as Miss Yvonne. Originally in the 1981 film, The Pee Wee Herman Show, and went on to play the character on the CBS Saturday morning Pee Wee's Playhouse. She was 78. Roberta Flack, the Grammy-winning soul singer, best known for her celebrated interpretations of romantic ballads like "Killing Me Softly," that was his song, and was her professional collaboration has died as well. And she had several years of health challenges, including a diagnosis of ALS, that's the Lou Gehrig disease. She was 88 years old. Legendary actor Gene Hackman and his wife Betsy Arakawa, they were found dead in separate rooms in their home at Santa Fe, New Mexico, their home there. Hackman was 95 years old, his wife 64, and they were found in their home on Wednesday alongside their dog. An investigation is underway right now into the circumstances surrounding the deaths, and a search warrant was the death of suspicious. They noted the death suspicious enough to in a natural and a neutral way, in a nature way, to require a thorough investigation. Now, there's more to come on this story. They're not completed with the investigation yet, but there's more to come, and you can always check that out on your news outlet, whatever that may be. Okay, we're going to go over to Charlotte, North Carolina right now. Why? Because it's time for sports, and as I already promised you, Brian Camp is here with the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. And again, if you have any questions sports related, please get them ready. He's got them for you, and he's ready to do that for you, get the questions going. Sports all around. We got a lot to talk about in sports, right, Brian?
Got a lot to talk about in sports, but I wanted to address this thing with these legendary entertainers, actors, and musicians leaving us. It's just unbelievable. It's always, I mean, they come in threes, but they come in flurries of threes now. And Roberta Flack, "Killing Me Softly," Jerry Butler, and Gene Hackman from um, various movies that he played in. And it's just unbelievable. It's crazy. And this is how anxiety kicks off and other things to other people.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
prayers go out to all of these people. And yes, that's in this here type of business and everything. But
I
as
don't
you
usually like to report grim uh, uh, news, and I think I went overboard with it. But these people are legends,
they're
and
legendary. They're
yeah,
legendary. Yeah.
I couldn't not do the show without mentioning it. I don't usually mention that many deaths. I don't like it, but
Yeah.
these people, they're legendary people. And I just have to do it.
Yeah. And it's sad too, but it's sad that we have to report this, but you're right, um, we just got to go on and everything. But good
Yeah,
evening, good morning, wherever you are. Some might be in the daytime and where you are across the world, and some of you might be 6 hours behind us, 3 hours behind us, and a couple hours ahead of us. But we're here live in the Queen City of Charlotte, North Carolina, the US of A, where it is presently 58 degrees. We had a beautiful day, went up to 74, and we had lots of sunshine. It rained a little bit towards the end, but it was still mild weather. So we want to say hello to all out there who's listening. Um, just want to get to some sports. And maybe be some cheerful news, but sports got to be reported as well. Um, in Major League Baseball, the New York Yankees announced they will play Frank Sinatra version of the theme New York, New York only after home games in which the Yankees win. Now, only if they win. Only Now what happened was George Steinbrenner started this originally back in 1980. When they every home game, they play 81 home games. You hear it now. But the Yankees said that players and staff were tired of hearing the song being celebrated after defeats. Well, who wants to hear, Frank Sinatra singing New York, New York after a defeat? The idea of the song is a celebration song. You want to get there, and you want to hear old Blue Eyes sing it, and you just right there, you want to sing along with them and everything. So now they're doing some things different. It's changed. Yankee Stadium has not been the same in recent years. I mean, some years ago we lost Robert Merrill. We lost Bob Shepard, the PA announcer. Um, Robert Merrill used to sing the national anthem. He had that big old opera voice. Used to sing, "Oh, say can you?" He was legendary. So the Yankees are making some changes, and hopefully this will bring, you'll hear it. I don't think they'll be playing it 81 times at Yankee Stadium because that's how many home games they play per year. ESPN coverage of Major League Baseball will conclude at the end of this year of the 2025 season. There was a March 1st deadline for Major League Baseball and ESPN to opt out of the final 3 years of their contract. Now, the sides agreed to a 7-year deal back in 2021 that averaged $55 million per season. Major League Baseball receives an average of $729 million from Fox Network, Fox Sports, and $470 million from Turner Sports per year under the deal that expires after the 2028 season. Sad news in the world of sports. Legendary sportscaster Al Tradwick, one of the most recognizable sports broadcasters in New York, and a fixture at numerous international sporting events for more than 3 decades. Tradwick was part of the MSG pregame and post-game show for the Knicks and for the Hockey New York Rangers and Major League Baseball New York Yankees. He was 68 years old. He had some health issues and passed away. So our prayers go out to his family as well during this here time of healing. This day in sports, February 27th, 1901, the National League Rules Committee for Major League Baseball decreases that all foul balls, this is back in 1901, all foul balls will count as strikes, except for if it's strike two. If it's strike two, foul the ball off, it's going to remain a strike two. But if it's less than 2 strikes, it's count as a strike because you're actually swinging the ball, but it's not in play, so it's a foul ball, but it count as a strike. 1959, Bob Cousy sets an NBA record with 28 assists as a Boston Celtics score 173 points. That means he was doing a lot of, as Clyde Frazier would say, was doing a lot of swishing and dishing and percolating through the court. So he was handing out the ball. His teammates was there scoring, shooting. As long as the ball goes in, he gets an assist. So he did 28 assists in that day of 1959 on this day. 1963, on this very same day, Mickey Mantle of the New York Yankees signed a baseball contract worth $100,000. Wow. That was back in 1963, $100,000. Back then, you was loaded. That was a huge. Let me tell you, when I found out, when I was old enough to realize that $1 million was a whole lot of money, which it is to me till this very day, but it was like back then, it was like being a billionaire. Was the late Howard Hughes when he was made a millionaire? It was like he was the richest man in the world. Howard Hughes. I don't know if many of you remember Howard Hughes, but yes, but $100,000 a year for baseball players, that was a lot of money. Birthdays on this day. It's 1961. Happy birthday to James the Big Game Worthy, NBA forward, Hall of Famer, three-time champion, and 1988 Finals MVP, who was born in Gastonia, North Carolina. Happy birthday, 1975, to Deuce Staley, NFL running back, coach, head coach, and Super Bowl champion at 2005, was born in West Columbia, South Carolina. 1976, happy birthday to Tony Gonzalez, NFL Hall of Fame tight end and uh, NFL Live today as an analyst for the Kansas City Chiefs, was born in Torrance, California. And happy birthday to, born in 1983, Devin Harris, NBA point guard for the Nets and the Mavericks, was born in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So those are the birthdays and a special tribute for those things that happened on this day in sports. As we know, we're still celebrating Black History. I give you my last Black History moment for the month. His name is Bill Russell. Bill Russell became the first Black head coach in the NBA when he took the job from Red Auerbach, who resigned, and gave it to Bill Russell, who was a player. And Bill Russell became the coach in 1966. He was a player coach. Russell was the first one to win an NBA title as well, too. Russell only participated in various, openly, I should say, participated in various civil rights demonstrations, including the March on Washington with the late Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He supported Muhammad Ali when Ali refused to fight in the Vietnam War. And you see that big picture, him supporting Kareem Abdul-Jabbar with him, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Muhammad Ali, and I believe who else was it? Russell, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Jim Brown. Jim Brown was the fourth one, yes. And he used his platform as a famous athlete to speak out against racism and inequality, even when facing challenges in a segregation city where he played for in Boston, Massachusetts. This made Russell a prominent figure for his activism alongside his basketball achievement. Bill Russell is one of the great icons, not only in the Black community, but in all of American history. And ladies and gentlemen, that is sports.
Yeah. Going back, I know he said it a long time ago, but I was thinking about it, still had it in mind about the New York, New York anthem. That's an anthem for when Frank Sinatra sings, and everybody likes Frank Sinatra. I don't know a person on earth that doesn't like Frank Sinatra. But do you realize? Yeah, they did that before he died because Frank Sinatra died in what? 96. I think he died in 96. And of course, every time they play it, they get paid for it. He gets paid for it, right? Now
it's on the agreement contract, I believe it is.
That's right. Now the person that's in charge of all of it now that Frank Sinatra is no longer around, the person that's in charge of his music, his likeness, and all of that is his daughter Tina. She could pull that song anytime she wants. She could pull that song off of there anytime she wants. But she has the rights to all of his music, all of his likeness, his photos, all of that. Yeah. So anybody that wants to use Frank Sinatra's likeness or his music, you got to go through Tina Sinatra.
That's right.
That's right. Out there.
That's legendary. That's just legendary. That's a fixture in New York Yankee history, believe it or not.
Yeah. I don't think she would pull it. I just said she can if she wants, but I don't think she would pull it. because Frank Sinatra did enjoy New York himself when he was here because he was from Hoboken, New Jersey, right across the river.
Right across
So
the river.
he enjoyed New York. I think he even considered New York his home, even though he was from Hoboken, because that's where he got his start, right here in New York. You know, but I just figured I'd just throw that little tidbit out there, Tina Sinatra. I would love to talk to her. I was thinking about calling and seeing if I can get her on the show here. Uh, I don't think her sister do many interviews. Nancy doesn't do many interviews, but I think Tina would probably do more because I've seen her do a lot of interviews.
Is Frank Jr. still alive by any chance?
Oh no, Frank is dead.
Frank Jr.
Yeah,
Wow. Okay.
yeah. Where have you been?
I never knew that Frank Sinatra Jr. I didn't know
Yeah,
that he was
yeah,
gone. I had no idea.
yeah,
Because I do remember that Tina was still alive, but I didn't know about Nancy was still alive either. I
yeah.
didn't
That's
know.
yeah. The two children, Nancy and Tina, are the two children that are left. There were
Okay.
three of them, and so Tina and Nancy, those are the only two siblings. The mom is gone, the dad is gone, and the junior is gone. And so they're the only two left. So all of that likeness, all of the Frank Sinatra stuff goes to Tina. Tina inherited all of that. And Tina is younger than Nancy.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know. Maybe some kind of agreement. Maybe um, he willed that to her. I don't know, whatever. Nevertheless, she
Mhm.
has it. And again, if you want to use Frank Sinatra's likeness, his music, got to call Tina.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Now, you didn't talk about it. I don't know if you have any more information about it yet. March Madness. You have any information to talk about?
It's too early for March Madness because they're still playing college basketball until they start having. I tell you when it's going to actually start. The madness itself is going to start
Mhm.
the last week or maybe 2 weeks before the end of March. We're in the early stages of March.
Oh, okay.
They're still playing college basketball. They're still playing meaningful games. So you
Yeah,
know that's not going to be determined for selection Sunday. Will be in another couple of weeks. So we still got a long way to go. We still got a long way. That's why I'm not bringing it up because there are games on right now, both the men and the women of college basketball that they have their games going on
yeah,
right now. Thursday is a big night for college basketball for the women. That I do know, and for
yeah.
Wednesday is the men. So we still got ways to go.
There's women basketball player is retiring. I can't. I read.
Diana Taurasi is retired. She played 20 seasons. She three-time champion. She's a six-time gold medalist,
Mhm.
U.S. Olympic champion.
Mhm.
She's a three-time MVP. She's considered and is regarded the greatest woman female basketball player to ever play.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I guess there's a little more hope for Caitlin Clark, right?
She will not come near Diana Taurasi. Diana
I just thought
Taurasi.
I'd throw her out there because she's everybody's talking about
She
Caitlin
has to
Clark.
put in the time. She got to put in,
Yeah, I know because
you know,
she was only in her first year, right?
right. Yeah.
Or
So
yeah, well,
she got a long way to go.
got a long way to go, but she's still playing her game, and she's good at it. Her and Taylor Swift hangs out a lot. They hang out a lot now.
Oh, they do. Okay.
Well, at
Okay.
least they did. At least they were at one football game together. Because Taylor Swift, when she goes to those football games, which football season is over now, but when she goes to the games to see her man play, she has her own special box up there. You
That's
know,
right.
she invites whoever she wants, and one day she had Clark up there.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
I think maybe now, because if she likes you, she'll invite you. I've seen other up there. Yeah. All
Yeah.
right, so we got a chance to see tomorrow.
Tomorrow you see me. Yeah, tomorrow I'll be here. Give you some more sports. Any updates from now until then will be broadcasted.
Okay, good enough. I guess we'll catch you then.
Take care.
All right, take care of yourself.
All right
Okay,
then.
ladies and gentlemen, that's Brian Camp with the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. As you already heard, he'll be here tomorrow on the Coffee Hour. We'll talk more about that later. And he'll bring more sports information. He'll probably repeat some of the things that were said here tonight for the benefit of people who are not watching tonight. Some people watch both of the shows. Some people don't have time to watch both, or maybe they watch one or the other. But just for the benefit, he's going to be here and he'll deliver those sports information to you, and we look forward to that. Anyway, if you're just joining us, the name of the show is called Talk Back Live. What does that mean? Talk Back Live. That means I can talk to you, you can talk to me. All you have to do is just type in. And again, those of you who are watching us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, that's where we are. Those are the three places where we are. And one of those, I don't care which one, they'll get you there. You could still watch the show. And as I said, if you were watching us on Instagram, you didn't see Brian, but you could hear him. But if you were watching us on YouTube and Facebook, you got kind of a chance to see him. But there you go. So there's so many things going on right now. And I think right now, it's that time. What time it is? Well, I'm glad you asked that question. It's that time to go back in time. It's that time to go back in time on this day in history. Because on this day in history, maybe some of you might remember this one. Back in 1814, Ludwig van Beethoven, the Symphony Number 8 in F minor, premieres in Vienna. Remember that one? Hey, you might have been around for this. In 1860, Abraham Lincoln makes a speech at Cooper Union in New York City that is largely responsible for his election to the presidency. Back in 1935, we're being more realistic now. Back in 1935, the 7th Academy Awards, it happened on one night. Goes to Clark Gable and Claudette Corbet. And back in 1939, the Supreme Court outlaws sit-down strikes. Back in 1974, People magazine begins sales. On this day in history in 1980, the 22nd Grammy Awards. Song of the Year, Kenny Loggins' What a Fool Believes. And Best Album, Billy Joel, 52nd Street. In 2005, the 77th Academy Awards, $1 Million Baby goes to Jamie Foxx and Hilary Swank. Back in 2019, Captain Marvel, starring Brie Larson and Samuel L. Jackson, premieres. In 2024, the Philadelphia Orchestra announces the renaming of their concert home as Marian Anderson Hall, in honor of the noted 20th century contralto who was from that city. And speaking of Marian Anderson, she was born on this day in 1897 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, as I already said, and she was 96 years old, and she died from congestive heart failure. In 1910, actress Joan Bennett was born on this day in Palisades, New Jersey. She died in 1990. In 1923, jazz musician Dexter Gordon was born in Los Angeles, California. He died in 1990. Actress Joan Woodward, who was married to Paul Newman, as you already know that. She was born on this day in 1930. And she was born in Thomasville, Georgia. And she's 95 years old today. She's still around. Actress Elizabeth Taylor was also born on this day in 1932, and she was born in London, England. She died March 23rd, 2011. She was 79 years old. She died from heart failure. Political activist Ralph Nader was born on this day in 1934 in Winsted, Connecticut, and he's 91 years old today. Happy birthday. In 1962, actor, not Alec, but his brother, Adam Baldwin, was born in Winnetka, Illinois. He's 63 years old today. In 1962, actor Grant Shaw from Melrose Place was born on this day in Detroit, Michigan. He's 63 years old today. 1951. American civil rights activist W.E.B. Du Bois weds award-winning author Shirley Graham in Queens, New York. Back in 1962, on this day in history, actor Willie Best. Now, a lot of you may not have been around at this time. Back in the 1950s, when they had My Little Margie, that was a little sitcom in the 1950s. He played Charlie on there, and he died at 45 years old. In 1968, Frankie Lyman of Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers. Why do fools fall in love? Still never found the answer to that one. He died of a heroin overdose at the age of 25 years old. Fred Rogers, Mr. Rogers, to you. He died on this day in 2003, at the age of 74 years old, from stomach cancer. He was born March 20th, 1962. I'm sorry, 1928. And he was born in Pennsylvania. In 2013, actor Dale Robinson dies at the age of 89 years old. In 2013, Richard Street, formerly of the Temptations, died at the age of 70. Actor Leonard Nimoy from Star Trek. Remember him? Well, anyway, he died on this day in 2015 at the age of 83 years old. And he died from chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. And he was born March 26, 1931 in Boston, Massachusetts. In 2016, actor George Kennedy dies at the age of 91 years old. Comedian Richard Lewis died on this day in 2014 at 76 from a heart attack. He was born June 29, 1947 in New York City. And that's about it in entertainment. So there you have it. And so we have all of that for you. You got all of that. And for those of the people who were celebrating birthdays, the ones that I mentioned, we want to wish them a happy birthday. The people who are celebrating today and they're still alive, because we remember you. We'll also remember the ones that weren't with us. Now, I always ask you guys, hey, you know something, if you like, I'd like to, like to talk to you guys personally. If you're out there and you have something to say, I'd love to talk to you guys personally. A lot of people would like just to sit back and watch the show and not involve themselves in conversation, which is fine. I like it when you do, but it's fine as long as you're out there. But just in case you want to get in touch with me personally, for any reason, maybe you have a birthday coming up, maybe you have some kind of celebration or some kind of activity you want everyone to know about. Maybe you want to talk about this show, anything like that, all right? Please be proactive. Get in touch with me. I have an email address and a telephone number, okay? I'll give you the email address first. Email address is Frank Allan Prod. Allan is spelled A-L-L-A-N. That's a very important detail because because there's a couple of ways you could spell Allan. And so the right way is A-L-L-A-N. Prod is P-R-O-D. That's short for productions. That's Frank Allan Prod at AOL.com. That's Frank Allan Prod at AOL.com. Now, telephone number is 641-715-3900, extension 467134. That's 641-715-3900, extension 467134. Now, those of you, as I said, would like to get in touch for any reason at all. You want to talk about this show? You have any questions about this show? You want to talk about what we do here or why we're here or whatever, all right? I'm here because I'm not a lazy guy. I want to keep active. But that's not the only reason why I'm here. I just love doing this. Maybe you have some kind of idea for the show that we can implement in this show. Of course, we listen to you. We can't promise you all of that, but I can promise you that we take it in consideration. And this way we can figure out, whether we can do that or whether we can't do it, whatever it is, or anything at all. Now, we want you to keep all the information that I just gave you, email address and a telephone number. Particularly, you want to keep it in your electronic devices, such as your cell phone or your computers. You carry the cell phone wherever you go. You're not going to walk out of the house without the cell phone, because I know when I do, I feel naked. And it's just like when I walk out the door, I said, there's something that I didn't put on. I forgot my pants. Of course, the phone is in my pants. So I got to go back and put on my pants. No, seriously. Keep it in your electronic devices, your computer. And people bring their laptops with them. Keep it in all of those places. Because this way, you'll have it at your disposal. You can open it up anytime you want, whenever you need to contact me. It's right there. And like I said, you can email me. It's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days out of the year. And you'll be able to do that. Okay. So I'll give you the email address again. Okay. Frank Allan Prod at AOL.com. That's Frank Allan Prod at AOL.com. Telephone number, once again, if you're so inclined, telephone number is 641-715-3900, extension 467134. That's 641-715-3900, extension 467134. And just in case you're just joining us, the name of the show is called Talk Back Live. And we're going to be here for the next 15, coming up to 14 minutes. That's all we have left in the show. And, what I'd like you guys to do, particularly if you're guys on Facebook, whatever's left in the show, we have a small amount of time left in the show, but whatever's left, we'll share that little time with a friend of yours, right? You can take the show and you can actually tag your friends, this show. And when they see that tag, they'll click onto it and it will bring them right to us. Now, I didn't mention earlier, for those of you who are watching us on YouTube and Instagram, you could do something similar. You can cut and paste the platform that you're on. In this case, it could be YouTube or Instagram, whatever platform that is, cut and paste the link and send it to your friends. That's like tagging them, right? It's about the same thing as tagging them. And send them the link. And they'll get it. And all they have to do is just click onto it, and it brings them right to us. So whatever little time you have, share it with them. You ever heard of the terminology, chicken come home to roost? You know what that means? That means, whatever you put out, you get back. You reap what you sow. You heard those terminologies, right? They all come back, right? Yeah, well, if you're watching all week doing and the news, man, everybody's watching the news because they want to find out what's happening day to day. And you only get one day at a time with this news. And we've seen now that some of the Republicans who voted for Donald Trump more are starting to feel that pinch now. All right, because did you see the town halls? They have town halls across the country now, and they were up in arms. They were up in arms about it because they were saying they were out there. They had to drag a couple of people out of the town hall for protest, right? And this was basically in the red states, and they were saying, because everybody's against this guy, Elon Musk. And you got to figure out, who decides or who makes the calls here, whether it's Donald Trump more or whether it's Elon Musk, one or the other. And so in the town hall, they were talking about, this thing, these cuts that are happening, now they're affecting me. I have a mortgage to pay. I have to put my kids through college, and I have to do that. And these are the people who voted for Donald Trump more. And but the thing about it, the interesting thing about it, they're starting to feel the pinch now. But it's like they're thinking about their own place, their own state. Do it to someone else. Don't do it to us. We voted for this man. This man promised us. This man promised that when he get into office, groceries are going to go down. And what happens? If you ever go to the grocery store and you find that a dozen of eggs are no longer $4, $3, or whatever you were paying prior. They're like $8, $9, going up to $10 before you know it. For one dozen. The situation is so bad, ladies and gentlemen, that Some stores, some local mom and pop stores are selling eggs like they sell cigarettes, what they call loosies. You can go into a bodega or something if you smoke and you want a cigarette and you just want one cigarette. They sell what they call loosies. That's one. They just sell you one cigarette for whatever they're paying for. That's what they're doing with eggs now. They're selling loosies, and I'm sure when you go, you don't want to just buy one. You want a whole dozen. But if you want a whole dozen, now you have to pay the price for the dozen. In any event, they're feeling the pinch on that now, and now it's coming to them. Now it's coming to them. They didn't feel it before, but now they're feeling it now because now I don't know if they realize it, but I'm telling you, they got duped. They were duped. Trump told them all of these things. They got duped. And unless you're a billionaire, you're still going to be in the trenches. How many times have I said on this show, you're not feeling anything now, but later on you're going to feel it. And you're going to be right down in the trenches with the rest of us. You know? And a lot of people thought, okay, we got, this is our guy, and I'm going to wind up with a great tech job. I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to be doing that. But you're not a billionaire, so you don't get to enjoy the fruits. And they were talking about Elon Musk, who, to me, ladies and gentlemen, is a total idiot. Here's a guy who, when we first seen him, he's jumping up and down the stage like an asshole. Just recently earlier this week, he's prancing around on the stage with a chainsaw, as a symbolic gesture of this is what we're going to cut. And they're cutting everything. They're cutting a lot of government funding and people who actually need the things that they're supposed to have. And I feel bad because senior citizens, they're cutting healthcare funds. And thanks to Bobby Kennedy Jr., his father should be rolling in his grave. You got the measles outbreaks. You got all of that, the measles outbreaks. I'm not hoping for this. I don't, and because we already got over a pandemic already, and I'm really concerned about what's happening now. There can be another pandemic, not necessarily COVID. It would be something else. Measles outbreaks coming along, right? Who knows where it's going to hit next? And that's because people are not taking their shots. And Bobby Kennedy Jr. doesn't believe in vaccines. I don't care what he says, but this is the guy that's in charge of your health. Elon Musk is in charge of a lot of things, including cutting government funding. Do you know that says people are afraid to fly now? Think about that. How many, just a couple of days ago, a plane narrowly escaped collision with a private jet on the runway. They landed, and the plane was in the way of where the private jet was in the way of where the regular commercial flight was supposed to land. And luckily, whoever the pilot was, God bless him, man. He was quick on the draw. He just lifted the plane up again in the air, so he had to circle around. And then, fortunately, everyone was safe. They landed safe, right? And there are just too many things happening in the airlines. We had the collision with the drones and the other planes and all of those. You heard about that, and people are afraid to fly now. I don't want to say it's going to get worse. I hope it doesn't. I don't want to hear about crashes because I do a lot of flying, and I don't want to hear about it, but this is just an example because they're cutting the government jobs are also the air traffic controllers. That's a government job. And I saw the images of people walking out of the office carrying their belongings to their cars because they were fired. And so they're cutting the cost of a lot of things. So the Republicans at the town hall are feeling the pinch now. Not all Republicans are not feeling it yet because they're still saying, oh, that's our guy. He's going to do us good. But it's going to come around. It happens little by little by little, and then eventually everyone is going to feel it, you know. And I've always said, I said to you guys, you know, in the beginning, when people were starting to vote in November, I said, be very careful, use your vote wisely. And I would assume that all of you, when you voted, you knew what you were doing, you know. But when I went to the voting poll, I didn't see Elon Musk's name on the ballot. I didn't see his name on the ballot because when I go to vote, I look very, very carefully before I check anything. I look very, very carefully. Once, twice, three times. I don't get rushed. Don't rush me when I'm voting, you know. And I didn't see his name on there unless they gave me a ballot that wasn't updated. But I didn't see his name on there. But he's acting like he's the president of the United States in the town hall meetings, and then when they have the cabinet meetings, who's in charge of that meeting? Did you see it? It's crazy. I want to give props out to Janet Mills. She's the governor of Maine. She clashed with Trump more because she refused to comply with the executive order that Trump banned for participation of women's sports. All right. I don't care how you feel about that, but I give props to her that she stood up to him. Janet, I salute you. I salute you. Okay. And be very careful before you buy those Trump cards. He's selling them for $5 million so he can get the rich people in it. If you want to be part of this country, if you're an immigrant and you're rich and you can afford $500 million for a gold Trump card, I got movies, ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk to you about right now. And I like them, these classic movies. So I'm going to get started right now. From 1962, Robert Preston and Shirley Jones and Buddy Hackett. This is called The Music Man. Ron Howard was in it when he was a little boy. It's on Turner Classic Movies. It's Saturday at 10:45 a.m. Eastern. And then you have The Lost Weekend. This is a great movie, a black and white movie from 1945 with Ray Milland, Jane Wyman, and Philip Terry as Turner Classic Movies, Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Then you have I'll Cry Tomorrow, 1955, with Susan Hayward, Richard Conte, and Eddie Albert, Turner Classic Movies, at Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern. And here's something called, I don't have the name here, but it has Edward G. Robinson, Lauren Bacall, and Humphrey Bogart. If someone's clicked the name off of this movie, I'm not have to get it back, but I believe it's Key Largo. I believe it's Key Largo. I'll check with that tomorrow too. Citizen Kane from 1941, Orson Welles, and that's on Turner Classic Movie. That's Sunday, 11:45 a.m. Eastern. Gone with the Wind from 1939, Clark Gable, Vivian Lee. That's Turner Classic Movie. That's Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern. And here's another classic, My Man Godfrey from 1936. Godfrey loved me, Godfrey loved me. Anyway, that's with William Powell and Carol Lombard and Alice Bradley. That's Brady. That's Turner Classic Movies. That's Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And I have a couple of movies that I want to recommend to you. From Netflix. You got to watch this movie, a Netflix movie called Zero Day with Robert De Niro. You have to watch it on Netflix, Zero Day. That will get you thinking. It's a familiar sight in that movie, Zero Day. Check it out. And for Black History Month, we celebrate from 1950. You have the Jackie Robinson story. You can catch that on Sling, Prime, Tubi, Plex, MGM Plus, Stars, and Freevee. And you have the Joe Louis story. And that's from 1953. You can check that on Tubi, Ruco Channel, Plex, MGM Plus, and Stars. So all of those movies, please get a chance. If you get a chance to watch them, they're great movies, and you'll love them, you know. And please, when you go to Turner Classic Movies, just keep going along and check out the other movies because there may be something on that you didn't like. Scroll down the program guide and check it out for yourself. There may be other ones. That's why I always send you there. But they're great movies, and check it out. That's going to wrap it up for me, ladies and gentlemen. I will be back tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern for more. And it's going to be the coffee hour. Brian Camp will be with me with the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. I look forward to seeing you then. I will also want to catch you back here next Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern for more of Talk Back Live. Brian Camp with Sports, you and me, and all of us against the world. So we look forward to seeing you then. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, have yourself a great morning, good afternoon, good evening, and a pleasant good night. Take care.
You've been watching Talk Back Live with your host Frank Allan. The producer is Al Dale. Technical assistant Dave Taylor. Research by Sandy Pierce. And I'm your announcer Donna Stenke. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Talk Back Live.